For everybody watching, listening, Steven here is actually going to show us a little bit about Jobber and do kind of a demo on how Jobber works and how to use it properly. Us at Pool Chasers and our pool service and repair company, Brothers Pool Service, we use it probably 80–90% of the day, so it's really important to us. So listen up and see what Steven has to say.
Yeah, thanks so much, Greg. And we wanted to start kind of with some of the stuff that doesn't get talked a lot about when you first sign up for Jobber. You know, a lot of people know that we do a lot of quoting, scheduling, routing, invoicing, etc. But when you actually sign up for Jobber and get into the account for the first time, you know, it's a pretty complicated and sophisticated piece of software, and it's tough to know where to go first. And there's actually a couple of things you can do right off the hop that'll set you up for success right away. And you'll find them in the gear icon under the top right corner of Jobber. If we pop into settings, we can call out a couple of things that are actually really great to set up before you go any further. Starting right off the hop when you land in settings here, you have your company settings page, doing things like setting up your time zones and getting your company name set up, your tax rates, etc. Set up right from the hop will save you a lot of time when you actually go to start preparing invoices or entering jobs into Jobber. Having that information set up correctly and verifying it can prevent a lot of struggles as you actually start using the software. As we start working down, if you pop into the branding section here, a lot of people are always asking, you know, where can I upload my logo? You know, how will my customers know what my phone number is? And if you upload this information in the branding section, this information is then included, technical difficulties, but this information is included on every quote, invoice you send out from Jobber, as well as on our client hub. You know, your clients will be interacting with you through the client hub in Jobber, and this branding information is all going to show up there. So if you can get that stuff in there first, it's going to give your invoices, your client hub, that nice personal polished look. There's a couple of other things here that we'll kind of gloss over. Services and products. If you set up your service and product listing in Jobber in settings, it's available for you anytime you go to build a quote, schedule a job, not having to type that stuff out every time. And then there's a couple of other things like custom fields, etc. You can customize Jobber a little bit towards your specific industry. And of course, I like to call out at this point, we do unlimited support and training with all of our new Jobber users. So if you're looking to customize Jobber in any way, our support team can definitely walk you through that step by step.
Now, and I will say that your guys' support team is like the best. I mean, from when we started using you guys in the very beginning, it was just picked up the phone right away and, you know, just let us know what was going on. Because, you know, any kind of software is gonna, you know, maybe go down for a little bit for whatever reason, and your guys' software has gotten much better. But I know when we did call, somebody picked up within, you know, a few minutes and let us know what was going on. So yeah,
Yeah, for sure. And tons of ways to get support. You can book yourself in for a training session at the time that works best for you. You can call us on the fly and get your questions answered. No one will ever rush you off the phone. We have chat support, email support, a lot of presence on social, etc. So, you know, however it works best for you, you can get a hold of us for sure.
Nice, thank you.
I think the other thing I want to call out really quickly before we work our way out of the settings area is this manage team area. This is where you'll actually go to set up all of your different users in Jobber. And one of the things we like to call out here is all of these users that you're adding into Jobber have personalized permission settings. So if you've got an employee that you just want to be worried about, you know, getting their jobs done, marking them complete, and that's it, you can set it up that way. If you've got an office dispatcher who needs to edit schedules, you can set them up that way. You can have people set with invoicing permissions, people who can't see prices that you're charging, so tons of customization around those permission sets as well.
Very good, thank you so much. So maybe we can just kind of start from the beginning. If you were to sign up for the 14-day trial, which you can do at, you know, getjobber.poolchasers.com, right? Yeah. Do a 14-day trial. Where do you want to start? Do you want to import customers first? How do you want to?
Yeah,
how do you approach that?
A great place to start, especially if you have a client list already, if you've been using QuickBooks or anything like that. I will call out that we sync up with QuickBooks or Xero, so if you already have a customer list in there, we can import it in from there, nice and easy. Makes that process a breeze. But even if you've just got like a spreadsheet worth of clients, you can import those clients into Jobber to get started. So, you know, no manual entry, no entering clients one at a time. You can get them imported there. But of course, if you need to add a new client, once you've got your client list in there, adding new clients into Jobber is a breeze. You know, you get a lot of fields. This speaks to some of the customization you can do in Jobber, custom fields for different clients. But really all you need to give us is a first and last name, preferably some contact information. and ideally their service address. But if you only have one or two of these things, you can always add that client in, get them in there, and then kind of update the rest of the information as you go. So if all you know is his name is Jim, we have a phone number for him, and maybe we know that he was at this address here. A lot of autofill as well, so Jobber will kind of learn your location. If you're adding a lot of locations in, let's say, Las Vegas, where we are right now, it'll start guessing that your next location is Las Vegas as well. Some predictive stuff there as well.
Do like that a lot.
Yeah, so that can really save you some time entering those clients in. And of course, once you've created that client's now got a profile in Jobber. Oh, we have a little bit of duplicate demo, but that's no problem.
So another thing I'd say about like this portion of the property details. So for what we do in pool service and repair is really nice, because when we talk to the customer, we ask, are there dogs on the property? Do we need a key to open up the gate? Are we meeting somebody? All those additional details can be put in here, and you can actually go into the back end, which is really easy to add all that stuff. So it's kind of if you have a office receptionist or anybody that's adding a new client, it's like the questions are there. Are there pets? Do you need a key? That way you don't forget to ask those questions when you're actually inputting the information. So yeah. I like that part of it a lot, so you don't forget to do that, because those are all huge. You drive somewhere, it takes 20, 30 minutes, come to find out you need a key. Nobody asked that question, somebody forgot. So yeah. Having that additional information is pretty cool. And all that information shows up in the app. Of course, what we're not seeing here is the field worker experience, where they're logging into the Jobber app and tracking their work, seeing their schedule, none of the clutter, just what they need to focus on. And all that information shows up in the app for them as well. So they've got all the information they need right at their fingertips, for sure. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, once you've added a client into Jobber, that client's got a profile here now in Jobber. One thing we can call out is that not only is Jobber going to help streamline your back-end processes, quoting, scheduling, routing, and invoicing, but once you have a client in Jobber, you can actually embed a link to what we call the Client Hub on your website, and that allows the client to log in and track things that we're doing for them on their own. So let's say we've sent a quote to that client now that we've got them into Jobber. That quote page is right there for them. If you're collecting deposits for quotes, you're installing a new pool or something like that, you want to collect a deposit, we can enable that through our secure payments integration, Jobber Payments, all baked into the software already. So nice little approval flow. We can also collect digital signature, which gives you that peace of mind. Now you've got the customer's signature against the work we're going to perform. So if they ever come back and dispute it, we've got their signature on that item saying that they did agree to the work. That peace of mind is really great. And then, of course, on the back end of the workflow, those invoices as well, same thing. Collecting payments from customers, they can log in here and make payments on their own time, so you spend less time chasing those customers down, trying to get those payments, and more time focusing on growing the business and getting that next gig. Right. Yeah. And then, of course, the other half of it is what you're going to see in Jobber yourself. So a couple of features we like to kind of call out that are really helpful for a lot of different industries. Of course, you've got your standard calendar views. So you can dispatch work straight into this calendar. You just need to find an empty date on the calendar and click in there to build yourself a new job. Or let's say you need to go on site and do an on-site assessment before you can book that work. You can also book yourself a work request, which is like a non-billable item that gets someone on site to take measurements for that new pool installation or whatever that is. Of course, other industries as well. Maybe you're doing HVAC work and you need to do an on-site assessment to see what the problem is with the unit before you can build a quote for service. All that stuff can be done straight from the calendar. Of course, we've got the week view as well, so a little bit more detail on a week-by-week basis. And a quick call out to the colors we're seeing here, where we've got all of our employees color-coded as well, so we can really quickly see which employees are which. I think Brothers Pool uses that as well. And another big feature that a lot of people love on the calendar is this map view. So if you're doing a lot of service work, Jobber is powered on the back end by a Google Maps API. We can actually route all these jobs for you once they're dispatched onto the calendar. So if you've got like recurring service work that you do every week or bi-weekly for a customer, Jobber will set up those routes for you. But you can use this map view to change those dispatchments. So if I need to reassign work to someone else, I can reassign it based on who's already in the neighborhood from this view. And then, of course, it routes those jobs into the most logical flow as well, so that people aren't wasting time driving between. So a lot of those calendar views really make the process of scheduling and dispatching work super simple. Right. Yeah, and that helps out a lot. I know, my brother gets with our repair mechanic in the morning, and they just look at the calendar and kind of, route the jobs the best way possible. So that helps out quite a bit. And it's really nice when, everybody's assigned a color. Like, our service manager Kyle, he's green, I'm black. It's my favorite color. My brother's blue. So as time goes on, you look at the calendar, you can really start to see, oh, there's 3 things for him, 2 things for him, 1 thing for him. And it makes it easier once you get used to the colors, because you start getting a feel for what's going on in the day as well.
Yeah, and you can take a really quick glance at like the month view of the calendar, for example, and it's easy to see, oh, employee X has, way more. Way more jobs scheduled on one day than the other. So it makes it really easy to kind of reallocate that work as well.
Definitely. So, we talked about, importing new customers, if you have QuickBooks or anything like that, getting them all in. I have a quick question. So, will it duplicate, or will it get rid of another one? And say if you like input somebody and then you went back in and imported a bunch from QuickBooks?
Yeah.
Because I think I had that problem in the beginning, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
How does that work now?
Yeah, so that process, there's a couple of things we do. Number one, we actually kind of ran into it earlier. If you enter a client with like a duplicate property or whatever, you get a little prompt that says, there's already a customer with this address. Do you want to create them anyway? Or, should we add this to them? So there's that. When you import clients with the CSV, when you're doing your client import, it checks for email addresses and names and stuff like that to see if there's any duplicates, and tries to skip as many as it can. But that's again where our customer support team comes in. If for whatever reason we do a QuickBooks sync and it doesn't detect those duplicates, it's really easy for our support team to kind of revert you back to your last good state and then kind of troubleshoot what happened and work through it.
Yeah. No, and I think the customer service team actually took the CSV file that we sent them, and they kind of scrapped everything we put in there, and they imported everything new. So it was like they figured it all out for us, and it only took, it was less than 24 hours, but it's pretty cool. And quick tip, kind of hang on to whatever you're using until you get this totally figured out. It's not super complicated. I'm actually quite surprised on how easy this is to use. But make sure that you don't totally scrap what you're currently using until you actually figure this out. One thing I really like too is back to the calendar. Is your guys' new, click on a date, maybe like Saturday or something?
Sure.
Is your guys' new request? Can you explain that a little bit? Because I know we use that for initial bids, and it's really nice because once you set up, a request, you can send them an email letting them know that, hey, we're going to be there on Tuesday between 9 and 11, and you can set a reminder even for yourself or the person going out to do the initial bid that, hey, you have a bid an hour away from now. So all of that stuff the reminders are amazing.
Yeah, for sure. We can take a quick look at this request page for sure. So the ideal use case for a work request is, customers let you know that they're interested in one of your services, but we need to get on site and actually figure something out about that job site before we can really commit to either giving them a price or whatever that is. So a couple of really great tools here. Number one, of course, these requests link to clients that we've already added in a Jobber like we talked about. So if that client's already in Jobber, we can get a request in there. A quick description of what we're doing for that client or what we need the person in the field to look for. So maybe we're doing a new pool install, we can add that description. And then if we do need to go on site, we can dispatch that visit out to one of the team members that we've already added in a Jobber, and that automatically gets onto their schedule. It's really great if you're doing it same day, like someone calls in and you've got a guy in the area to go maybe take some new measurements for a pool install. If we add that to their calendar on that day, they'll get a push notification through the app that lets them know that a new work request has been assigned to them as well, in addition to all the other kind of reminders you can set for yourself. And then of course, the customer gets an email that confirms that they've been booked in for that work request, and you can completely customize that template for sure.
And I am not BSing. We get compliments all the time that the flow, the whole entire process is so professional. I mean, they call us and they get something sent that, hey, we're going to be at this address between these hours, and they just always blown away on how professional everything is. Because even after that, we do a bid and we send them a quote for the job, and they can approve it. We always ask for a deposit before we do anything, so they can approve it, put down a deposit, and we can put it on as a job. So that whole entire process is just beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I hope I don't put you on the spot too much here, but would you mind talking a little bit more about like some other features that you guys really get a lot of value out of in Jobber, especially here at the Pool and Spa Expo? It'd be great to get some context on how you guys are using it specifically and where you're having some success.
Yeah, definitely. So we use it a lot for internal use as well. So any reminders that need to be had, where we send out newsletters to our customers that It's drain season, or we're doing, mineral treatment, whatever it may be. There's reminders in there that's saying, hey, send out this email at this time, or work on this at that time. Anytime there's follow-ups, those go as a basic task. So what we do is, if we need to go out to our customer's property because they said that their pump is really loud, we'll put visit dash customer name. We'll find the client's name, attach them to it because we use it as a CRM as well, so that we're cataloging all the requests that they've had, and then we pick a time. So it'll be today or tomorrow, and we'll just pick the day and we'll assign it to somebody like you just showed. So it might be Kyle, might be one of our other guys, and we'll assign it to somebody, and that way they know that day they're going out there to take a look at that pump or motor or whatever's going on. But we use it really for everything. And then obviously for initial bids, we actually do initial bids on everything. We don't just say we're going to do something. So we put in the new client, and then we put in a date that we can go out there and do everything. So right here, yeah, this is like the cool part. So yeah, we use it for initial bids, repairs as well. It's really nice once you get all of your services and prices in there. That way it makes it much more easier when you're building an invoice with all the line items.
Yeah, and just a couple of call outs here. I kind of referenced things like being able to collect deposits, etc. Based on all the things we talked about earlier, setting up all my work items, etc. In the couple of seconds that Greg was talking about it, I was able to draft up a quote for a pool winterization with a 15% deposit. So it really kind of puts into perspective how easy it makes it once you kind of put that initial legwork in to get it up and running.
Yeah, that's what we love about it. You could do everything on the fly. And the other awesome thing is when you upload photos now, you can upload as many multiple photos as you want. That was huge when you guys rolled that out, because it was a real pain in the butt for clicking one photo, wait, because that's how everybody is, you know what I mean? Because we used other softwares for a long time, and you had to hit one, let it load, and now it's like, when I get done, I'll hit 15 photos and I'll just drive, you know what I mean? So it can just load all the photos before I even do anything. And yeah, that helps out a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And with that concept of photos, the concept of sharing that proof of completed work is really important to a lot of people. That's something we're keen on enhancing as well. That client hub that we've been talking a lot about is only going to grow from there. So being able to prove you've completed work, share job forms and photos of completed work, those are all things that we're keen on building for our customers as well. So really helping manage that relationship between you and your customers, for sure.
Yeah, and even when you send a quote for something, and we use this quite a bit, is you can actually attach photos to that quote too. So what we've done before is we actually send their current equipment and what their pool currently looks like, and then we'll send pictures of jobs we've done before. So it's almost like, your setup is now going to look like this. If you'd like to move forward, here's a picture of a job we did, so they can be like, oh wow, because they're comparing their equipment to the new equipment they might get, and we get a chance to show the benefits of having a new filtration system and a new variable speed pump that's going to be more cost and energy efficient, and the plumbing looks much better. It's all up to date. So it's really cool to be able to attach those photos and PDFs. We send service agreements and automatic payment authorization forms. So it's a really good place to kind of send them everything, you know what I mean, instead of sending a million different, emails for everything. So
that's awesome.
The workflow is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's pretty good on that. Is there any new features out right now we haven't talked about?
Well, the big thing we're focused on right now, we just released, we're doing a lot of work around the work request space. So things like being able to customize more of your email templates, adding more variables so that those email templates are kind of plug and play. A lot of feature work there. We recently built out the ability to collect multiple payments against invoices. We know a lot of our customers collect more than one payment against an invoice from their customers, so we've enabled that so you can track it all in the same invoice. No more workarounds there. It's nice and easy. And like I say, a lot of really great work happening around that client hub space. So, stay tuned. If you're a Jobber user, our product update blog right in there, we update that product blog with every change that we do. So it's a great place to stay up to date with what we're working on. And of course, getjobber.com, the website, lots of content there. You can always start up a free trial or come find us here if you're in Vegas, booth 3647, if I read it upside down correctly. Come find us here. We have some deals going on as well.
Highly suggest using Jobber. If you're having any issues with your software that you're currently using as a CRM, or just adding repairs and you need to get quotes out and you need to take payments, all that good stuff, highly suggest Jobber. Very intuitive and much easier to use than anything else we've ever used. So come check us out at the pool show and get you all taken care of, right?
Yeah. I can't let you go without plugging your podcast. You want to talk about your podcast a little bit?
Everybody knows about Pool Chasers, right? No, I'm just kidding. No.
Well,
go to poolchasers.com. All the information is there. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, SoundCloud, Stitcher, all that good stuff. You can listen to it. We have a mixer tonight. It's going to be an awesome time at Stoney's Rockin' Country from 7 to 9. Getting a custom Pool Chasers mixer hat and a custom pin. And it's going to be an awesome time. And we brought all our podcasting equipment. So we're going to record every single person that's going to be there so that, you get to be a part of the podcast.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great time.
It'll be a fun time. We love what you're doing with the community there. Community is really big for us as well. So we really love what you're doing, for sure.
Yeah. Thanks, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate
Thanks.
it. All right. We're out.